This is ExO Economy Core. It is September 28th, 2021. Probably sounds real. And we're here for another live streaming episode of the ExO Economy Core call. I'm sure there's lots of updates that everybody has today. So we will jump right into it. Why don't we kick it off today with Nikki and then Eric. And then Eric, when it's your turn, please feel free to pick the next person.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. We've got a series of articles coming out for women in crypto. We found some little nuggets out there where people are just trying to bring females into this environment, and I'm all supportive of that. The Next Gen Economy podcast is underway. We've got 2 episodes in the can, unless Rodrigo, you have some surprise news for us. He's the other host, other than Angela. And we've got an exoskeleton sponsorship fundraiser in process. So we'll be publishing some of that in the next week and a half. And then we've got the Sprint design team augmenting human mobility and performance to build a village. We've got a team of people who are very eager to get this underway and to actually buy a piece of decentralized crypto land and build upon it and bring retreats and rehab and all kinds of wonderful human performance types of activities together. So that's exciting. And the last thing I have to share is that we're going to be doing town hall number 10. And that's going to come late October during the festival for the startups. And that will be focused on the liquidity pool setup and governance. So hopefully we'll have our advisors and maybe a couple of other experts from other teams to come in and provide input and insight so that we can take that to the next level. That's it, Eric.
Just real quick, Nikki, before you jump over to Eric, how can people participate in any of those things? There were no instructions there. What if you want to participate in the exoskeleton thing, or if you want to participate in the crypto eco rehab village, whatever that was. Tell people where to go to get more information, please.
The village will be published probably early next week. So we don't have links to that yet. We're building landing pages and all that good stuff. The exoskeleton, we have links within the old town hall, the town hall number 9, but we also will be publishing some social posts and links and that sort of thing. As for the liquidity pool, go to Discord. There is an EXOS to WEXOS channel on the Discord channel, and that's where you start to get the information to participate in the liquidity pool.
Okay, so watch the Twitter feed and watch Discord. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Eric.
Thanks, Nikki. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. I know these last several weeks have been a little bit kind of dicey with live broadcasts, so welcome back. We managed to start on time today, and it's not like we haven't been meeting, haven't been talking. It's been a lot of good stuff. So even though you may not see us on a live feed like a YouTube or whatever, the team definitely has been meeting, right? So just so everybody knows that. But just to kind of update folks on, of course, the the big bringing the EXOS token to market, still ongoing, of course. And Najib's here with us. He'll be filling us in later with some more details. Of note, many of us participated in some real live online testing, if you will, about 2-ish weeks or so ago. So it's pretty exciting. We were able to kind of transfer, for example, my test involved transferring some tokens I had from a Electrum wallet into a Core wallet. And then we kind of went from the EXOS to the WEXOS part. And then we used another tool called MetaMask. And lo and behold, there were some Ethereum that appeared up there. So we're starting to kind of bridge this whole journey. And there's a lot more work happening behind the scenes, still coordinating with other resources, you can imagine. But we are getting there. I think that's the message you want to learn for sure. And I guess in other news regarding the Core Treasury, a couple of points to mention here. The Core Treasury wallet is now heavily refunded again with a second tranche of 2 million EXO. So we are flush with EXOs for Sway proposals that you can still go anytime you want using the Sway website and submit a proposal to help the community. We have lots of stuff that have been in flight this year and even beyond. And so that's open 24/7 for you to go in and submit a proposal. And as long as you get enough votes and there's feedback and a few other points, you will get funded, just like all these other projects have been doing. In addition to that, we are funding lots of efforts, including Nikki's whole operations with marketing and her team and Angelo and others. So there are lots of EXOs to go around. And I know Ken and others constantly keep talking about this is like, you know, as a community, we need to obviously come together. We need to kind of use the EXOs. We need to pay people. We need to receive them, buy and selling, receiving, right? You can do this, of course, on the marketplace at openexo.com. Post a listing, hire somebody, pay them in EXOS, right? So there are all kinds of use cases here. We've been talking about use cases all year as well. And if Cesar joins us, I'm sure he'll have some additional ones as well. We do have a number of people who will be throwing their names into the hat, who are getting trained and who will eventually, very soon, join the core treasury team, currently consisting of myself and Kevin, Gerardo, Cesar, and Vanessa, who's usually here on this call as well. So we've talked now about kind of rotating some of the members. So we have Rodrigo Salazar with us on the call today. Hello, Rodrigo, and hopefully he'll get a chance to kind of weigh in as well. Pratik, who I think you've seen and heard on a number of these calls over the last few weeks. So we're going to get some new blood in here as well and kind of rotate out some of the core treasury members. In addition to that, there's a lot of other stuff going on, but I'll kind of yield my time now and going to see who's kind of up next here. And so I know we have Angelo, he's on the road, and I know Jillian's also on the road as well. So how about we go to Lisa for her update.
Great. Hi, everyone. I have to always remember to unmute myself. So lots going on with EXO Insight. EXO Insight, for those of you that don't know, it's a platform to amplify the voices of the OpenExO community. I've been onboarding a lot of new writers. We had about 15 last week, so that was great. We've begun seeing some new voices in the articles. I've posted in the chat a way for you to subscribe and to be a contributor if you have not done so. We also have a weekly writers club that has been going well. Some new faces. It's a total, you can come when you need to. So if you're interested in coming to the writing club, it's on Thursdays at 9 a.m. PST on Zoom. Feel free to message me and I will send you a calendar invite. You can come with ideas or you can just come and feel inspired for a future article. Our readership and subscribers continue to grow. And I think we're actually seeing like a little exponential curve in our growth when we're looking at the chart. So it's really good to see that. We're working with AnyClip to see some interactive ways to incorporate videos into some of the articles. So that's exciting. Regarding the book, the Exponential Organizations version 2, the update, that is being co-authored with Peter Diamandis, Mike Malone, and with Salim, and curated by over 90 OpenExO community members. We ended up with over 900 pages of content. So the publisher has suggested we break it up into 3 parts. So it's more of a readable book, piece of the book. So book 1 is on its way. We still have a few more chapter revisions to work on. It'll be sort of like an EXO library with the first book, a featured look of how the world has changed due to COVID. And each of the attributes will have a chapter, a more in-depth chapter on MTP and moonshots. And then the second book, how to implement the model. And the third is about governments and civilizations. So that's all I have. Have a couple other little things, but those are my big ones right now. So Kevin.
Thanks, Lisa. So on my front, focusing quite heavily on driving EXO solutions. So speaking to a number of organizations around looking to drive more opportunities into our marketplace on OpenExO, and doing a lot of experimentation there. Obviously, once we have opportunities there, we have the opportunity to leverage EXOs in many of those deals. On the EXOs to EXOs and the wallets and everything is all perfect, and I've I've now done 2 tests and it's super simple. Well, I think it's super simple. Yeah, so that's really good. Really exciting. And I think that's pretty much it. And I want to hear from Najib.
Well, thank you. First, Lisa, thanks for last week call. Few things there. After our last call, we did another, I would say, working session with Lisa from scratch to the end. This time was all in Mac. And we set up the wallet, we set up MetaMask, and the recording is there explaining all the steps to go even up to MetaMask. And we did a swap between EXOS to EXOS. And again, the recording is there, and everyone is welcome to go there and see it. We have created another channel there that is EXOS to EXOS Help. That is only a reading channel. Everyone can post your questions in the other channel that we have there. It still is private, but then in that sense, people is not lose with a channel that it has a lot of information. There is the videos, the first video that we did a few weeks ago, the one from last week with Lisa, and like a 10 bullet point there where we explain what is the G drive to download it, what you will expect, what happened using EXOS there. And the big thing is that I think now beyond this team, we already extended yesterday before the invitation to the ambassadors, EXO ambassador channel. That's when we have more. Actually, it was yesterday, not the day before. And I start to receive a lot of inquiries. People really want to just to go, be, and they will learn a lot. And again, this is a great opportunity where basically it's your time, the opportunity, and you can spend your EXOS there, knowing that those EXOS are going to be returned at the end of the demo, will be returned to the address they were sent. And where they are coming from, but it's a great opportunity for know the process without to go and spend Ethereum. What are the next steps? We are coordinating another call to go the extra step, swap with Ether, go to the liquidity pool. We have create some contracts. And what is still pending? Now pending to go to the mainnet is still we have there what we have discussed in a past call. It is what are going to be the final parameters for the liquidity pool on the mainnet. That's one of the things, and the staking. Those are the 2 things. But the idea is right now to stand and people to start to look into, especially people that is right now asking me to add. And that they are extending this invitation to anyone. And here, whoever is listening, this invitation, just contact me, direct message me. That's and I will add you there to the channel, and you are part of this testing. Thanks a lot, Kevin, for your immense patience. We found, and want to be open on here, why you were the only one actually with the bug is because he's the only one on a time zone that is a plus. Then every one of us are on the minus GMT, and none of us had that issue except him and Jillian that they were on GMT plus. Unfortunately, it was hard for us to catch. We don't test all the time zones. It's too much testing. But we were able to find out that was only the bug to affecting that part of the globe. And we are a global network. We need to be prepared to not have bugs with any time zone. Then thanks a lot for your patience, and not only for your patience, but for your help to find out the bug, because it took us a while to figure out what it was happening. It's only on your wallet. Because it was so amazing. It was for you guys. He's on a South African standard time zone that is quite unique. Unique for him, but unique for us. But thanks a lot again. That's on my side. Then I will just go invite Rodrigo now that we have him here on the camera.
Thanks, Najib. I'm very happy and excited to be here today. Thank you, Eric and Nikki, for the opportunity. I hope to be and will be a great contributor to the community and to everyone. And the first task assigned to myself is the recording of some episodes for the ExO Economy podcast with young entrepreneurs. We will talk about tokens, NFTs, cryptos, game with cryptos, what the investment looks like from their perspectives, and probably will co-host it with Angelo. And if you want to be part of some of our podcasts, you can let us know in the Discord channel. That's on my side. Thank you very much. Who hasn't speak? Back to
that'd be me, I think. Back to me.
Yeah.
Everybody else went, yeah? Okay.
And Angelo.
But yeah, Angela and Jillian said they won't be able to do speaking updates today, given where they are. But thank you to both of you for joining. Anyway, one of the first things I wanted to report, had a most interesting call yesterday by 3 users who apparently are still on CIVX, and they are, the tokens are probably lost, but I spent some time with them yesterday trying to go through their computers. Each of them had gone through a computer upgrade. Some of them knew their passwords to QT, some didn't. One had done some upgrades, the other 2 hadn't. It was an interesting call, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because more than likely, we're not going to see those tokens again. They're going to live the rest of their lives locked in the blockchain where they will stay entombed forever. So the reason I mention this is it's just a little word of warning, and it's because of something they said to me. They said they didn't pay attention and they didn't do the upgrades because they didn't think the project was still going. And I said, well, how in the world could you not think the project was still going? We have like a meeting every week. We broadcast it live. There's emails all the time. There's platform updates. There's been 3 major epochs of software rollouts. I mean, really, we make a lot of noise, especially in the last year. And it really just came down to the fact that, they weren't, somehow they just weren't paying, they're members of our community. They weren't paying any attention whatsoever. And there's just no way they shouldn't have seen some of the communications. So I guess the little bit of reminder here for this team is that there are still people like that out there, and probably not even as small an amount of them as we wish they were. And we're going to have to continue to try to find ways to connect with people. And this went back all the way to the earliest days of the economy, this particular group of people. And I just really couldn't even believe it, to be honest, when I was on the call, seeing the first version of CIVX again, and things like that from early 2018. So, the message to anybody who hears this, that's watching the stream, is make sure you manage your passwords well, not just for our wallets, but for your computer. I have one person who can't remember the password to their Mac that they had as their last computer, which is probably where the wallet's installed. So now they're going to have to find an IT person to take the hard drive out and hope they didn't encrypt the hard drive, which they don't know one way or the other, right? That kind of stuff. So have good password hygiene. Don't use little slips of paper and write it on whiteboards and weird stuff like that. You need to have a better system than that, especially if you're going to deal with cryptocurrency over the long term. These projects last a long time. Hopefully they don't show up in a year and spend a year and then everything happens in a year. I said when this project started, it was a 100-quarter project. Okay. I was not kidding. And anybody who doesn't understand that or doesn't listen to that is not really, you just have to check in at least once a month. Okay. And then you probably won't miss too much. But if you don't check in for 3 years, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen. So this is a long-term effort to build a valuable digital asset that is shared amongst the members of the OpenExO community with the outside world in order to drive value creation, means of exchange, store value, unit of account, all the things that money can do. And then to operate on a global basis with other fiat and cryptocurrencies. And so that takes me to the second topic, which is taking the token live. I also got asked this week, I think it was either Monday or no, it was either Monday or last Friday. I can't remember. Someone said, so is it going to remain a private, they didn't use these words, but this is what they're asking. Is it going to remain a private complementary currency forever? I said, we just did the 9th town hall going into our paths into public trading for the EXOS token. Have you watched any of those? And what are those? Was the answer I got back. And I said, so now this is somebody who actually does care, right? Like about the future of the economy, and they have good reasons to care. And so I just, again, was kind of floored. I was like, none of the stuff we did have you watched. And I talked to this person a lot. So they had plenty of chances to ask me along the way. I just didn't think to tell them. So again, I just want to repeat for everyone what I told them and what I told the people that they had been talking to, giving misinformation about the status of the EXOS token and its future as a publicly traded token. I said, yes, the EXOS token will trade in public exchanges, period. So if you don't want to listen to any of the other stuff I say after this, hear that. Yes, the EXOS token will trade in public exchanges. First, we're going after a decentralized exchange. There's some interesting things going on with that particular DEX right now. If you've been watching the news, I don't know how that does or doesn't impact us. We do need to consider it as a team. And then on centralized exchanges as well. Sort of the dream exchange would be to get listed on Coinbase. I don't think that's our next step. It's going to take more time to get there. And just realize it's actually a good thing that it's harder to do this now. All right, because less shit coins, but less bad tokens should end up on these exchanges over time, and more good tokens should end up on these exchanges. And we're a good token with a long view, so it should be okay. So that little speech is just something I wanted to share, because I was really just to have 2 of these within about 4 days. I was just kind of floored, and a lot of misinformation was spreading around these 2 groups of people. So yeah, just know that the token is fine. It's here. It's alive. It's a global blockchain. Staking is pretty consistent on the network, and the network itself is run by us. If you're an EXOS holder and you're staking, you're part of that network. So you're providing a valuable service to your peers. And we thank you for that, because the network doesn't run without all of us doing that. It doesn't work right if we don't do that. And that's a very unique thing about the way our network works. The token holders are the stakers, the validators, and they're the ones that make the network run. If you look at the heat map, you can see that. And as we get more visible and more public, I suspect we'll see that grow over time. Okay, because people will start to realize what that means. So we're still on the flat part of the curve, basically, and that's totally okay. Just keep that in mind. So I just wanted to share all of that with you. It looks like Nikki's proxying some social media updates here. Thank you for that, Nikki, there in the chat. We're seeing some interesting growth there. Nikki, would you attribute that to the growth in content creation primarily?
I think it's a combination of content creation and actually engagement practices. So we're actually tokenizing and incentivizing people to get in there and make some moves.
Okay. My last update today is regarding what's called the Learn and Earn and the token sale portal. So for about almost 2 years, we ran a public-facing token portal that was accessible to certain people in certain places. And some places were embargoed because there were reasons we couldn't direct sell tokens into those places. That project has finished, and now we're in the process of going through all the accounting necessary to determine how much, if you did participate in the Learn and Earn, how much you're owed, and then the team that is processing that will be in touch to ask you for your email, for a validatable email, so that we can send out the necessary information so you can collect the tokens that you earned through the Learn and Earn, which was part of that particular project. And if you have any tokens that are still on that platform, those tokens will be transferred into an escrow wallet. The keys will be locked away in a safe place, and we will attempt to reach out to you, probably for no more than 6 months. And then after that, it'll be on you. We're not going to chase you for the rest of our lives. So if you have tokens that you earned or you bought on that portal, this is the time for you to collect them, and we will help you do that. The portal itself is shut down. It's done its job, and we'll be moving forward. Eventually, that will just redirect Nikki over to the economy site. We'll just have it go to the main page, right? So people don't get lost if they go to that old URL. Or maybe we'll do a landing page that explains a little bit the history. We'll decide what we want to do with that so that people know what to do if they are, for whatever reason, 2 years later, come back and want their tokens. But again, we'll push hard to get it done over about the next 6 months into Q2 of next year. But after that, we'll pretty much take our hands off and drop a landing page somewhere for that, okay? So that's all good. And we viewed that as part of taking the token into public markets as well. So that was always time to end as we got closer to the first listings. Okay. So those are my major updates today. Najib, in figuring out those, we'll move to the agenda round now. So for the last half of the call, if anybody's stuck on something, needs something, like Najib pointed out earlier, he needs to know what staking yield is going to be and what the, you need to stake. What were the two things you needed? The staking yield and the
liquidity pool settings.
And the liquidity pool settings. So I think we need to have a breakout meeting for that. So Eric, I don't want to do that here on the live call. So Eric, maybe if you could help, we can set up a call perhaps on Thursday or Friday this week. If that works for folks, you can help us find a good time. That'd be awesome. And let's put a pin in this. It's been long enough. I've done as much research as I can do. I'm sure you guys have done as well. So we need to make the decisions and lock it down by the end of the week, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, my comment here for everyone is this is a good chance, everyone to do the test on testing learning. Those learnings are at the expense of the EXOS, but the EXOS are going to be returned to you. Once we move to the mainnet, you need to have your Ether, and people is more reluctant, no, it's a little bit more friction, and people, all of us is better to learn or do learning mistakes. I don't call them mistakes, I call them learning process. With these EXOS, I know that every transaction is going to cost you $150 due mistakes. Then it's better to take this opportunity. I'm more than happy to do another work session like we did with Lisa. It was awesome. This time was on Mac, and I can do it in Windows. But again, most likely this week is going to be the next, the continuation of that working session. That is how it works, how the liquidity pools works, how the swap to Ether works. Right now, we are from EXOS to the ERC token, but what is after? Because people is asking me, hey, what is that? And that's great, because it's a process, and my learning in all these 3 or 4 months is I go and visit many projects, and for you to participate in those projects, you need to go and buy tokens. That's the first friction. It's good adding a public chain, but people is more reluctant. Okay, but that test is going to cost me money. Take this like a wonderful opportunity for you to learn.
That's a really good point. Really good point, Najib. This stuff's actually kind of tricky. I think that's one of my big learnings along this whole thing is two things. I actually, should I say this on a public stream? I don't know. Maybe. We have an amazing community of over 8,200 people, and they're some of the most sort of cutting edge thinkers in terms of the application of exponential technologies to organizational contexts for transformation. But and that's totally true. You can't find a better group of people in the world if you want to transform your organization. That's what Kevin was updating on, is EXO Solutions. We now have EXO Solutions packages for organizational and civic transformation. But when it comes to the crypto and especially DeFi, the level of complexity has been a lot for our community to handle. And so the reality is that if there are something like, what is it? Does anybody know something like 170 or 200 million crypto users in the whole world? I'll bet you a tenth of those are DeFi users, if not less, right? So and there's reasons. It's because it's a little complicated. So I look forward to being also listed in centralized exchanges because I think that's going to be a lot more palatable for a lot of folks. But this also for cutting our teeth on this, if we can get through this, there's nothing we can't get through. Quite frankly, with regards to public listings. So I guess I've just been a little surprised that there weren't more people in our community that were more engaged with that space, but that's okay. We get to learn first, as Najib pointed out, and that's one of the reasons, by the way, we originally made this project, which was conceived in 2016 in October of 2016, but then rolled out and launched in April of 2018. Took a little while to get everything ready. We knew that we wanted to launch our own blockchain and build it all up, everything from the top to the bottom, because we wanted our community to have the opportunity to learn everything inside out. And we have certainly received that. So it's been an amazing journey. So yeah, I think that, yeah, Najib, you're 1,000% right. If you're dealing with exponential technologies and you don't take this opportunity, at least even just on the test net, to give this a go, you're missing an enormous opportunity that will not likely present itself again. So yeah, you should pay attention to that. Alrighty, speech is all done. We're at 8:36. Does anybody need anything? Raise your hand if you need anything at all. Going to go once, going twice. Everybody's going home early. All right. Thanks for a great meeting. I take care, everyone, and put this on the weekend with your family and make some popcorn. You can watch the reruns. It's awesome.